Please welcome Caitlin Revenaugh to the show. I'm so happy to have you here.
Thanks for having me.
Of course. She is a cosmic alchemist working with hair, fragrance, and natural beauty. So I want to first begin with talking about how you incorporate so much of spirituality into everything that you do, and I think that that's so badass. And I actually met you through a friend, and she told me, like, you guys need to talk or whatever, and then you told me what you did, and I was like, that's beautiful. And then we started following each other, and that's how I have you here sitting with me now. So I'm so happy to have you.
Such a good connection.
I know. Like, instantly, it was kind of, weird. We were at a wedding with a friend, and you were working for the wedding of my best friend.
Oh, yeah. Random.
And it was out of town. Like, it's just so random that we would meet at that wedding, but I love that we did. And I think that it's beautiful.
Yeah, I knew I was going to make you a perfume then.
I know.
Funny how it comes around.
I know. She just made me a perfume today, y'all, and it's incredible. I'm obsessed with patchouli, and I smell like a patchouli goddess right now. I really do. Okay, moving on. You work with an all-organic hair care line at the only all-organic spa here in town called Urban Oasis. Tell me how you got started and when you started incorporating Reiki into your hair.
Okay, I started doing hair over a decade ago, and I started using organic hair care probably 6 or 7 years ago when I found Naturelle. I started to realize as I was kind of getting into my spirituality that I was using horrible chemicals on people's brains, and they're very sensitive spiritual antennas like our hair.
Yes.
And so I kind of wanted to not only protect myself and being around fumes, but also my client's hair, which is the biggest point, I should say. And so I realized even before I was like got attuned for Reiki that I was doing Reiki on my clients, and they would rant and rave about how great the massage at the shampoo bowl was.
It's my favorite part of getting my hair. I think everybody's favorite part of getting their hair done.
It's like the best luxury.
Yes.
And so I would really spend like 15 minutes on like making sure they had a good scalp massage and have all their treatments on, and then I started to I had this like intuitive technique on how I would massage the scalp, and I would kind of start to, after I started doing Reiki, I'm like, okay, there's certain points in the head that I just intuitively kind of connected that were each chakra, going down like the base of from the forehead to the base of their scalp.
Right.
And then I would kind of like set the intention, okay, we're clearing out whatever is blocking, and I could kind of sense which chakra had a blockage just by touching that certain spot on the scalp. And then so I would then at the end of kind of the clearing, I would say, okay, well, now whatever their dreams are and whatever their intentions are, until I see them again, I hope everything comes true and everything is good. And
right.
yeah, I think not only the technique, but just the intention that somebody's focused on you also not only feels good, but internally feels good too.
And did you start to actually like talk with your clients about it, like openly, like this is what we're gonna work on today, like kind of like a consultation almost, like like a spiritual consultation prior to the shampooing, like what are we doing today? What's up with you, queen? Or did you just kind of do it naturally and then
just kind of did it naturally?
Yeah.
I would do it naturally, and now I'm definitely more intentional about it. So if they sit down and they're having a shitty day, then we go to the shampoo bowl and I say, okay, so tell me something good. What's the idea? What are their dreams coming up? What are you working towards? How's your love life? And then try to focus on something positive and ended with, okay, now we're letting go and do the rinse and let it all go down the drain, and then we can start fresh. Everything, all the yuck is off.
Yes. I'm like, can I just come and get a shampoo?
Yes.
Is that a thing?
Absolutely.
Ah! I just want a scalp massage every once in a while.
Absolutely.
Like, literally. That sounds like a dream. So tell me about the point in your hair care or doing hair that you kind of switched over to going all organic, and what like led you down that road of I know you said definitely putting it into their brain is a big thing. Like, these are huge pores that we have on top of our head, and we're literally just letting things seep into them. So it's important what we put on our body and on our head. But tell me kind of those moments that led you up to that.
I started suffering from like chronic pain, and I was like, the easiest way that I could move my body with chronic pain was with yoga.
Right.
So I started to do a lot of yoga, and then that kind of enlightens things. And so one thing kind of led to another, and I'm like, oh, I stopped using chemicals for cleaning. I stopped using harsh chemicals in my makeup. So now I need to kind of stop using harsh chemicals on my 9-to-5 job.
Right, your clients. Right.
Which is horrible. So I would start kind of doing research about like how people, like Cleopatra, how was her hair treatments, and how did they used to color hair prior to all these chemicals that ended up becoming mainstream, and like old Hollywood, how they would put Clorox to bleach hair. That's how Marilyn Monroe got blonde, just Clorox.
Really?
Yeah, so I'm like, okay, let's do some research. And that's on wild. Like page 9, I found Naturelle as one of the organic brands, and there was a couple of other ones, but Naturelle was the one that was kind of had their shit straight, and the professional results kind of stood up to Redken, which I was certified using prior to that, and so so yeah, I stuck with them and stand true to who they are and what they believe in, and I won't use anything else. So I switched over to Urban Oasis after a big Redken salon that was in town, and then I found Brie, who owns Urban Oasis, and she was using Eminence, which is an all-natural skincare line.
Okay.
But she has like crystals everywhere, and she was on the chakras, and so I'm like, oh, it's another thing that I kind of got away from when I was a child, that I was like, oh, I was kind of into rocks.
Right.
I like crystals. I like astrology and zodiac signs. I've always been into that. Why don't I kind of explore that a little bit more? And I have the freedom of a professional mentor kind of to support me in it, so let's just keep it rolling. So then I started doing a lot of studying at that point. Yoga.
And then the research begins.
And the yoga got stronger, and yeah, so then I was at Urban Oasis doing Naturelle.
I love that, and incorporating all of those things into what you do now, which is what our next topic is actually going to be about. You create fragrance designed for each individual's astrological signs and chakras, and create intention fragrance oils and candles. When and how did that begin? Because this is so badass. Like, to get a personalized perfume is already badass in itself, obviously, but specifically for, different chakras or our astrological signs. So how did that all start? Where did you even learn that could be a thing?
A lot of research. So I started creating essential oil rollers for my clients who would come to me for pain, or they're going through cancer, chemotherapy, and then I kind of started having a lot of clients you have a lot of ailments that kind of come with it, and so I just want to help. So
Yes.
I go home and do a bunch of research on like what can I naturally do to help them be at ease. And so I kind of got into essential oils, and so I was starting to make some remedies for them and just kind of be like, hey, okay, it's part of your service, whatever, it's no big deal. But originally I started doing perfumes with my aunt when I was like 7. She had this little kit that she would every summer kind of bust out and be like, oh, whatever essential oils you want to put, here's some witch hazel that you could do like a little body spray. And so I was always putting lavender and rosemary so I can smell like her garden. And
Oh, I love that.
So fast forward to when I was probably 22 or something, I was working in another salon. It was a little bit more, a little bougie, but they had just started, and I was kind of able to kind of recruit all my girlfriends that were kind of scattered around town, and ended up having all my best girlfriends in the same building, and we're all doing services together. It was so nice. And I kind of hit this cap where I was busy. It was like 12-hour days, and I'm like, it's killing my body. Even though I'm organic, it's still long days.
Right.
I want to like tone it down a little bit. So I need to go take a break, go back to school, try to figure out how to broaden my services so that my clients can have a better experience.
Right.
So I stepped away and I traveled for like 5 years.
Okay.
And then, so I traveled around, I thought about doing massage, but I was already doing Reiki, so I was like, okay, I can touch people and work with people's energies. I'm a cosmetologist, so I can still touch their scalps, touch their hands, touch their feet. I don't really need to go be a massage therapist. So then I ended up in Bali.
Yes.
Ended up in Bali because I just was ready. I wanted to spend Valentine's Day alone in Bali. For some reason, I told my Reiki master, I'm like, that just sounds fun.
Right.
Right.
Just want to be there alone. I don't want nobody there.
Just to kind of like totally romance myself. And so I did. So there I am in Bali, finally by myself, and finally found some peace and quiet around organic food and very much sober.
Right.
I went through a big purge right when I got there, a little food poisoning from Thailand.
Probably guided in some weird way that way.
It was very cleansed.
Yes. Yeah. Very clean. Very clean.
So Bali, the first couple days in Bali, I just kind of hung out in my little hostel and just took care of myself, and then I met this French guy, and we ended up becoming really good friends. And kind of by the end of it, I'm like, why did we connect so well? What is it with the French guy? And then finally it clicked. I'm like, oh my god, I can make my perfumes. I can turn those rollers into like actual perfumes.
Right.
And it's $1 billion market. And it's what I love to do. It's been this like thing that's been in my back pocket since I was a kid.
Right. From back with your aunt.
From back with my aunt. I went on an eclipse trip with my family and kind of perfected my rollers before they were perfumes, and talked to each person about their zodiac sign and how I can perfect their little, it's called an accord now, come to find out. They're the kind of the base of the perfume. And yeah, it's like I totally set it up for myself. I just had to figure out how to make it sound professional.
Right. And connect the dots a little bit.
Connect the dots a little bit. And so I found a course, also on page 7 of Google.
Mm-hmm.
It's always
where you're on the next one, and the next one.
That's not it. Oh, okay. So this guy, he's in Italy, and he does natural perfumery based with first aid. How? Badass. This is exactly what I was looking for. Something that like has an intention of healing, but also is a perfume, also done with all natural. And so I hopped over to Germany. I studied for about a month. I was running through the forest and smelling the moss and like just kind of like taking all of the scents in of like the natural wonders of the world. And yeah, then went to Italy for a couple weeks, and my mind was really blown about natural perfumery and all the ingredients that go into making a perfume.
Right. Okay, so where was this class that you took?
This was in Riccione, Italy. It's on the west coast of Italy. We were at an organic farm.
I love this.
It's like a little homestay. So they kind of grew all their food, and they had a little so we had breakfast every morning. I was with a group of maybe 7 different people from all over the world, and maybe 7 to 10 people. Yeah, and we kind of just this guru, who I like to call him, taught us about the basis of running a natural perfumery. And Italy was always one of those places where I'm like, okay, I really want to go to like this little tiny town in Italy and like get the true experience of what it's like to be in Italy.
Right.
And I don't speak the fucking language. How am I gonna get myself there? I thought it was a dream that would never come true, and then I found myself
in the countryside.
In Italy, with a bunch of people that have something in common with me, and you don't really need. With the Italians, you don't really need to speak Italian, but they speak really well body language.
Right. I'm sure they do.
Body language is all you really need there.
Oh my god, I couldn't even imagine. I'm sure it was a dream come true. So, did the guru speak English?
He did, yeah.
Okay.
He's French, lived in Italy. I believe he's Muslim. So, yeah, he was a fabulous guy.
Oh, that's so cool. So were there other like bilingual people in the class, or was everybody just English speaking? Because
it was taught in English, so everybody was speaking English, but there were some friends from Germany, some people from South Africa, a couple people from the States, one girl who was originally from Russia.
Oh, so cool.
Yeah, I think there's a couple more, but all different walks of life.
And you did that for how long? How long was that class?
I was there for 2 weeks.
Okay.
And I was able to do the other 2 weeks when I was living in Hamburg, Germany.
Hamburg, Germany.
Hamburg, yeah.
Okay. So by the same guru.
By the same guru, yeah.
Just in Germany this time.
I was
okay.
Instead of being in California, kind of doing the prep work, I was in Germany doing the prep work and kind of just focusing on astrology and running out to the forest and twiddling my thumbs, saying, "When can I get to Italy? When can I get to Italy?"
And you actually did.
Yeah.
How wild!
I hopped over.
You're all, yeah, that was me. Did that. Jeez Louise, what a cool story. Okay, so tell me about your experiences from going abroad and how that, I feel like, had to have shaped who and what you do. You know, now we're not shaped, but influenced.
Yeah, I always had an intention, traveling as well, to broaden and kind of bring the best experience for my clients. So I don't know if this is a good excuse, but I would always book a spa everywhere I go.
A dream.
So I would, I went to Ireland first, when I first started traveling, and I ended up getting acupuncture by this Chinese guy. And
What?
Just so random.
I love this. Okay, yeah, tell me all of these stories, please.
So he turned me around during the treatment, and he was like, "We're gonna do some cupping now," and all of a sudden he strikes this fucking fire stick. It is gonna burn my hair with fire. But that's just the way to like ignite the cupping and do the cupping. So did that.
He struck you with it?
No, he didn't strike me with it. But he struck you can strike a big ass match is what it is. You strike a big ass match to kind of create the suction from the cup.
Oh, right.
So you can do like the cupping services, and that's the old Chinese way apparently.
Wow.
That was the first like, holy shit, I'm not in Cali anymore.
Yeah.
This is not the States.
Fuck. And was it, I'm sure, like so inexpensive as well? Just like foreign spas? I mean, are they...
That's the other thing. Like, when you travel, what's money?
That's true. That's so true. I need to just... Wow. Mind blown. I'm just gonna adopt that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, so traveling like really gets me in the flow. So money's just an exchange of energy. Whatever you get.
Right.
Give whatever you want.
But what is money on vacation? Because we don't think about it.
No.
It's like,
so that was the first like wow moment. I was in Budapest and went to a spa in Budapest and had a massage with somebody I was friends with that I was there with. We had a couples massage, but it was by two men.
Oh.
And that was the first time there was like, oh, you want me to give you a happy ending on my massage. That was a strange spa experience. But
he wanted you to give him a happy ending?
Yeah. Wild.
Bro, that is the two men are obviously there to do that to him. The fuck?
So then Thailand was also a really good experience. So I went and got my hair done in Thailand, and that was fun. They had like a big massage chair when you would get your hair shampooed, and big steam around your face, and you get a steam treatment. Had my lady boy, I was stylist, cut my hair, and two other girls all blow drying my hair all at the same time.
What?
So that was fun. And then Bali, that was like, I'm gonna hit it hard now. I'm gonna go to all the spas. The spas in Bali are phenomenal. I was so spoiled. And everything's like truly natural there.
Right.
So they're like actually putting flowers in your foot spa, and they're like, the oils that they're putting on you is like with actual essential oils or actual fragrant oils from the flowers that they've been pressing and stuff like that. And so, and like the green tea that they would serve you, and yeah, so I did a lot of spa time in Bali. The Balinese treatments are really nice. Like even the way that they do their presentation is really nice. So that
is it touristy where you went?
Ubud, I kind of was all over the place. Ubud isn't. There's a lot of tourists there, of course, but they still keep it very authentic.
Right.
Then there's like other places like so me and my friend went up north to Lovina, where the name just sounded nice. I'm like, oh, there's a place called Lovina in Bali. Let's go.
Yes. Was it not? You're all laughing like it was not nice.
Not as touristy, so they didn't really make it as bougie. Like the hotel resorts weren't as fancy schmancy, and we still had a good time.
Right.
It was quiet. But we stuck out like a sore thumb because we were driving. on our bike, and people were still trying to like pull us over to give them money or to.
Wow. I have heard that about. I mean, over there it does get a little different, huh?
Yeah, you're clearly a tourist, I should say.
Right. Well, you're stunning. Of course, you probably do stick out like a sore thumb in Bali. They're like, wow, shiny, you know. Okay, interesting. So tell me about your family. Tell me about your family and growing up in a household that flourished your spirituality. Because I think that so many of us probably didn't have that. We grew up in a religious household of some sort, whether that be like spiritual or not. It's mostly religious, you know. And for you, it was like you already grew up in that kind of spiritual household. So tell me about that and how you feel like that really shaped you and who you are today.
Okay. I was baptized Catholic.
Oh, okay.
So there's that little tidbit.
Like as a baby.
As a baby.
Okay.
So I was baptized.
So just like throw some holy water.
I had some holy water with whatever that means. I still asked my aunt. I'm like, how come I'm not like? How come they didn't do that ceremony in a river or something?
Right.
Is that holy water?
Like
I'm so confused.
Like what is that baby that came in on the basket in the river? Okay, I'm getting way too biblical now. I don't even know. Okay.
So, but my dad, he always was very open and very like, no, that's not really my thing. I kind of have my own thing. And then so I started, I mean, I went to church maybe twice, but I would explore other churches growing up with my friends. But I always had the freedom of just kind of creating religion whatever I wanted it to be. Heaven was always like, heaven's your own bliss. Like it is, I think everybody has their own heaven, and
yes.
like it is different for everyone, and it is whatever you want it to be. And so I would talk to my parents about it, and they would kind of just let me be creative and be a kid and let my imagination run wild. But there would be certain points where my dad would like walk me through meditations so I would fall asleep. So there were like these little hidden spirituality moments where I just had freedom, and like that was just my dad's way of parenting.
Well, you told me once that he taught you about astral travel when you were really young.
Yes, so he my dad takes a lot of naps. But he's like meditating.
He's like, I'm not napping, I'm astral traveling.
He's like, I'm awake. I'm like, Dad, I thought you're sleeping. No, I'm awake.
Your dad is my spirit animal.
So, he's a Libra. But, so he'd be like, I can control my dreams. I can fly wherever I want to go. And I can go, and I have freedom to kind of go wherever I want to go. I can be floating with the birds across to Europe, or I can just fly down the street.
Right. Whatever.
Wherever you want to go.
Yeah.
But then I kind of find out on my own that, that's astral traveling. Okay. There's some hidden things there that you chose to tell your kids.
I think about it often. I think about how different our world would be if we were taught how to handle our emotions better. If we were taught about things like calming down your mind to change everything around you, literally. Like, there's just a lot of little things that I really think, like, holy shit, what if everybody was raised that way? Obviously, that would never happen, but cultures are vary, all of the things that we need differences, but it would be so different to be raised in a household where you could genuinely ask questions about religion. That's so, I mean, even you saying that, do you know that most children are not allowed to have anything but reverence towards whatever God their parent chooses to follow, which sucks.
Yeah, no, my mind can't comprehend that.
Right. Could you imagine like that being shunned? And
no, I couldn't imagine. I definitely wouldn't be who I am, but I couldn't imagine.
Well, you could. You probably still would have met the same fate, but it might have been different or harder.
Just like feeling freedom and to like explore my mind and explore my creative endeavors and to just kind of pull shit out of nowhere and like really listen to my intuition too. I think that was another big thing. It's like just following whatever my heart wanted to do and ask a bunch of questions.
Yes.
Why? Oh God, I was that annoying kid. Always asking why.
Ugh. I mean, it's such an important question. But damn, you don't have children.
No.
My son is 5 and he asks so many damn questions. He's got questions on questions, you know? Like, he's just such a curious kid. And I talk about it all the time, actually, about our first meeting. My son was there, and it was like this weird thing because it's hard for me sometimes to not diminish his inquisitiveness at all, but also need to teach him about like respect and not to interject and not to like disrupt people and to let people finish their thoughts and those type of things, because our culture is U.S. American culture is very quick to interject and quick to kind of not have any moments of silence or reflection or let somebody speak, for instance. Like, let them finish.
Have a full thought.
Right. And not quickly be so interested in what you're going to respond with. Like, actually being in the moment with somebody and listening to them, I think, is so important. I don't even know how we got onto this topic, but here we go again, spinning off topic. Okay, that's beautiful. So tell me about, tell me about a time that you felt the most spiritually sovereign or spiritually free.
Okay, I had to think about it all day.
Folks at home, I prepare people with this question because it's such a deep question. And it's not easily answerable. And there has been times that I've sprung it on people and they're like, I don't know. Like, what? Okay, so.
So the most, and it's funny because as soon as I started really thinking about it, all these synchronicities started happening and all these like weird, like, spirit. I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
I know it happens all the time. But the most, I think, had to have been the first time I was in Bali. And, like, truly away from everything. And just completely alone and just a bunch of foreign everything. And just having to rely on me and my thoughts and having healthy food, I think, is also really important. And being spiritually healthy and like having those moments of such clarity and having spirituality just completely surrounded you on an island.
Right. I feel that in Hawaii, so I get you.
And so like I think Bali's so powerful and I just felt completely supported and loved, and not only love from the people that were surrounding me physically, but also spiritually. Like all the spirit guides were always hanging out with me,
I know, I'm like, elaborate on that though, because tell me about some transformative experiences you had in Bali, because I hear about Bali and this happening to a lot of people. So especially that first time around, I know that was probably the most moving for you.
Yeah. There was a lot of meditation. There was a lot of sunbathing.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Just a lot of like
being present.
Being present. There's no other way around being present there, I think. So I was 2 doors down from one of the biggest yoga studios in Bali, and they had classes going on day and night. And it's like this. They took over this whole piece of the jungle and turned it into the yoga barn.
What?
The yoga barn, yeah. So,
I'm sure it's stunning.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure.
I don't think words could describe it. You know,
Yeah.
It's just you're walking into this bamboo
jungle,
and everything's made out of bamboo and super clean, and meditation room, yoga room, colonoscopy room.
Oh well, I want it all. Listen, we can't half-ass Bali.
No, full ass Bali.
I know. I want to go. I'm gonna go.
We'll go. There's an ecstatic dance. My first ecstatic dance was in Bali.
I still
So
haven't
fun.
done it. Is it? I'll get there too.
So did a really heavy community meditation there, where it was a lot of deep diving into pain and just kind of like letting it go, and it was like a lot of like generational things that I kind of feel as a Pisces. It all kind of went like the visions that I have, I know sometimes aren't mine, and
Yes.
so, but they're there residing in me, so I need to just like let them go, let them free, and have the space of and the support from other people and the guidance from a master, and to just like release it and scream about it and cry about it and punch it out, and like, so that was obviously a life-changing moment.
Right.
But kind of after that release, it was nothing but fun. It's like then the ecstatic dance happened, then traveling to Lavina, then went down to a different part of the island that's completely off the grid, and staying out of the homestay, and going to a Michelin star, and hanging out with the chef, and and going to this infinity pool, and yeah, then like, so the magic is in those moments of pain and release, but the fun stuff happens. The happiness happens. That's the balance of Bali. Like,
Right.
The lows are low, but the highs are so high.
Right.
You're gonna have an even balance, but what's the fun of that?
Right. We gotta have the ebb and flow. You know.